Just as we have the armed forces that safeguards our country and therefore maintain peace and order, so do our body have its own soldiers that keep off diseases from invading into the body. Hello friends, welcome back to Joanne Academy. In this video, we are going to talk about the white blood cells, which is also known as the leukocytes. The white blood cells are one of the cells that make up the blood, which provides protection to the body. We know that the blood is made up of three basic types of cells, which include the white blood cell that we also call the leukocytes, the red blood cell, which is also known as the erythrocytes, and the platelet, which is called the thrombocyte. We also have the fluid portion of the blood, which is known as the plasma. We will take these cells of the blood one after the other and give detailed explanation about them, and also talk about their various roles in the body. But for now, let's just focus on the white blood cell. The white blood cells are the nucleated type of cells that is located in the blood. It is also called the leukocyte. Let's compare the white blood cell with the red blood cell. The white blood cell, when compared with the red blood cell in terms of size, is far larger than the red blood cell, although the red blood cell is many in number than the white blood cell. Functionally, these cells are also important just like the red blood cell. Its basic function is to protect the body from invading organisms like pathogens. So they act as the soldiers of the body. We're going to compare the white blood cell and the red blood cell in terms of the color, the number, the shape, the size, and whether it contains nucleus or not, and also whether it has granules, and at the same time whether it has different types. For the white blood cell, in terms of color, the white blood cell is colorless, whereas the red blood cell is red in color. Then, in terms of number, the white blood cell is less in number compared to the red blood cell. In terms of size, the white blood cell is larger in size compared to the red blood cell. Then as for shape, the shape of the white blood cell is irregular, whereas the shape of the red blood cell is disc shape. You can say that it is biconcave in shape. Okay? Then for the red blood cell doesn't have any nucleus, whereas the white blood cell has nucleus. And there are granules present in the white blood cell, but there are no granules present in the red blood cell. For the red blood cell doesn't have any types, whereas there are many types of white blood cell. As for the lifespan of red blood cell is far longer than that of white blood cell. The white blood cell lives just about 15 days. Okay, then whereas the red blood cell lives longer than about 120 days. All right, that is the comparison between white blood cell and red blood cell. So let's briefly look at the classification of the white blood cell. The white blood cell is classified into granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes are those type of white blood cell that has granules in its cytoplasm, whereas agranulocytes are those type of white blood cell that doesn't have granules in its cytoplasm. So we're going to take them one after the other. The granulocyte first. The granulocytes are further classified into three types depending on the staining property of the granules. Firstly, we have the neutrophils, secondly the eosinophils, and the third is the basophils. The granules of the neutrophils take up both acidic and basic stain, whereas the granules of the eosinophil takes only acidic stain. Then the granules of basophil takes only basic stain. As for the agranulocytes are just two in number. We have the monocyte and the lymphocyte. Like we said earlier on, the agranulocytes are the type of white blood cell that doesn't have granules in its cytoplasm. Let's talk about the morphology of the white blood cell proper, taking them one after the other, from the neutrophil to basophils, to the eosinophil, to the lymphocytes and the monocyte. The neutrophil, like we said, take both acidic and basic stain. They are also called the polymorphs, and the granules of the neutrophils are small in size. When the neutrophil is stained with the Leishman stain, the granules will appear violet in color. The nucleus of the neutrophils is multi-lobed. The number of this lobe depends upon the age of the cell. In younger cells, the nucleus is not lobed at all. Then in older neutrophils, the nucleus has about 2 to 5 lobes. The diameter of the neutrophil ranges from about 10 to 12 micron, and the neutrophil is amoeboid in nature. As for the eosinophils has large granules, and these granules stained red with the eosin. The nucleus of the eosinophil are bilobed and they are spectacle shaped. The diameter of the eosinophil ranges from about 10 to 14 micron. Now let's talk about the basophil. The basophil also has a large granules in the cytoplasm. The granules of the basophil stain purple with methylene blue. The nucleus of the basophil is bilobed and the diameter is about 8 to 10 micron. Let's talk about the morphology of the agranulocyte. The agranulocyte, as we said earlier, comprises of both the monocyte and the lymphocyte. Let's first of all talk about the monocyte. The monocytes are the largest leukocytes with a diameter of about 14 to 18 micron. The cytoplasm is clear without granules at all. The nucleus is round, oval and horseshoe shaped. The nucleus of the monocyte is either placed at the center of the cell or it is pushed by the side of the cell. Okay, then for the lymphocyte, just like the monocyte, it doesn't have granules. All right, so the nucleus is oval in shape and it can also have a beans or kidney shape. The nucleus occupies the whole of the cytoplasm of the lymphocyte. The lymphocyte is classified into two. Firstly, it is classified depending on the size of the cell, and secondly, it is classified based on the function they perform. Classification based on the size of the cell. We have large lymphocytes. The large lymphocytes are just younger cells with a diameter of 10 to 12 micron. And then secondly, you have the small lymphocyte. It is older cells with a diameter of about 7 to 10 micron. Then depending on the function that the lymphocyte performs, it is classified into T lymphocytes and the B lymphocytes. The T lymphocytes are just cells that are concerned with cellular immunity, whereas the B lymphocytes are cells that are concerned with humoral immunity. So these different classes of white blood cell have its lifespan. Okay, the neutrophil lives for about 2 to 5 days. The eosinophil lives for about 7 to 12 days, whereas the basophil lives for about 12 to 15 days. Then for the monocyte, they live for about also 2 to 5 days, just like the neutrophil. And the lymphocyte lives for about a day. Okay, let's talk about the normal amount that the white blood cell should be in the body. We have the total white blood cell count and we also have the differential white blood cell count. For the total white blood cell count, in a cu millimeter of blood, the white blood cell is about 4,000 to 11,000. Then for the differential white blood cell count, let's take them one after the other. The neutrophil makes up about 50 to 70% of the white blood cell, and its normal value ranges from about 3,000 to 6,000. Then the eosinophil makes up about 2 to 4% of the white blood cell, and its normal value is about 150 to 450. The percentage of basophil in the white blood cell is from 0 to 1%, and its normal value is about 0 to 100. Okay, then the monocyte is about 2 to 6% of the white blood cell, and its normal value is about 200 to 600. Then for the lymphocyte makes up about 20 to 30% of the white blood cell, and its normal value is about 1,500 to about 2,700. Let's look at the various variation that is peculiar with the white blood cell. We have the leukocytosis, the leukopenia, the agranulocytosis, the granulocytopenia, and the granulocytosis. The leukocytosis is just the increase in total white blood cell count. The leukocytosis occurs in both physiological and at the same time in pathological condition also. Then for the leukopenia is a decrease in white blood cell count, the total white blood cell count. Leukopenia is generally associated with pathological condition, okay, not with physiological condition. Then for agranulocytosis is the abnormal increase in the total number of granulocytes, and we know what the granulocytes are. They include what? They include the neutrophil, the basophil, and the eosinophil. Then the granulocytopenia. Granulocytopenia is just the abnormal reduction in the number of granulocytes, of which we know the 3 of them by now. Then the agranulocytosis. Agranulocytosis is the acute pathological condition that is characterized by the absolute lack of the granulocytes. That means there is no granulocyte at all. In our next video, friends, we will talk about the physiological variation and also the pathological variation of the white blood cell. Please do support me by subscribing to this YouTube channel, share my video with your friends, and also encourage your loved ones to subscribe. Thank you so much for your constant support. I sincerely appreciate. Until we meet in our next video, please remain blessed, remain focused. God bless you. God got you. Peace.